a subject that's very touchy for many people, and you've probably seen that title and you're probably bracing for whatever you think I'm about to say. Let's first start off, I'm not someone who cares to talk about politics. I don't argue with anybody on politics. That's not the man I am today. So with that being said, here's what I have to say. I believe that everybody needs to go with their heart and go with their soul on who they like. I don't believe that it does anybody any benefit to argue with each other on this subject. I think you can discuss with people about views, but oftentimes, more times than not, it turns ugly or it turns negative. I'm a kind of person, especially the older I get, I have no interest in anything negative in my life. So a lot of subjects I will stay away from discussing with people because it often leads to a bad taste in one person's mouth. My thoughts on this are, if you're voting for Donald Trump or if you're voting for Joe Biden, follow your heart and vote with your heart. If you love Joe, then vote for Joe. If you love Donald Trump, then vote for Donald Trump. At the end of the day, I think it comes down to what you believe in your heart and your soul. God created us all different. We all think different. We all have, different thoughts and opinions in life. And I really believe that, people will see change and want to change their thoughts and opinions. But we can't force it on people. If you are a hardcore Donald Trump fan, a lot of times I see people trying to force it online on people that don't like him. Same for the other side. If you're a Joe Biden fan, I see people saying, and forcing their thoughts and their opinions on people who don't like Joe. And my thoughts and opinions are, we all have the right to choose who we like. So pick who you like. I'm picking somebody based off of my thoughts on the country, and I've seen the first 4 years, and we'll go from there. We've now been given a side, which is great because now we can decide even better than before. We've given 4 years with one president, 4 years with another, and now we have a good idea of what we like. If you truly didn't like the first 4 years under Trump, okay, your choice. If you truly didn't like the last 4 years under Biden, okay, your choice. You see, we don't have to degrade one another. So in each person in their individual lives, they're going to have a different feeling. For example, under Donald Trump, financially, me and almost all creators that I know, we're doing way better than we are now. Things are really hard now. Things cost a lot more. So I know my choice. It's very clear for me based
Total distance 4 miles. Total time 1.
So based off of that, but also a whole range of other things, I can weigh out the options. Okay, well, I don't like Donald Trump in this area, but I really like him in that area. We had 4 years. We now know. Okay, well, I liked Biden in this one area, but I really don't like him in this area. We've had 4 years, and now I know. So now we can make our judgments based off of actual real knowledge. So don't argue with people. If someone's on the fence about Joe or about Trump, and they want to talk with you, talk with them. Be logical. Don't be immature. Either whatever side you are on. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Don't be immature about the subject. Be mature enough to actually have a sound conversation with people. Don't be like, well, Joe Biden just screwed America. And come on, guys. That's not how we engage with other people to change other people's minds on anything. Or, Trump, he says nasty stuff and I can't stand him. He's just, he's a bad person. He hates these people. He divides and is racist and all that. That's not how we change people. We change people by being logical and actually having sound conversations with one another in a mature manner. So at the end of the day, whoever you're voting for, but if someone's voting for Joe or Trump and you know that they're set on it, why are you going to argue with them? Why are you going to degrade another human being created in the image of God? Let them have that choice, because they experience life different than you and I. Then someone that is voting for Trump, they're experiencing a life that is different than you and I. Someone who's voting for Joe Biden, they're experiencing and having life experiences different than you and I, which is why they're voting for Joe Biden. Guys, it's that simple. Our way of life should not be forced upon somebody else just because of our opinion. Well, they have their opinions too. Everyone has their opinions, and we need to start respecting each other's opinions. Now, if someone's on the fence or I ask you questions, that's when you maturely, if someone supports Donald Trump, but they're on the fence about supporting Trump, and they go to you that you like Joe Biden, when they come to you, don't start with rhetoric. Don't start with, well, I can't stand the guy, and he says all these mean. Start with a mature conversation, because then you can actually sway that vote, because you're actually giving them a value. You're giving them more than just simply blah, 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 blah. Now, same goes. If someone is supporting Joe Biden, they're 50-50, or they're not unsure. Well, then when you go into that, don't say, well, he screwed America, and we're all screwed because of it, and whatever you want to say. Say stuff in a mature manner, have a mature conversation, and then let them ultimately decide based off of real factual knowledge and information. And it's that simple, my friends. We can do all things in a mature way, in a mature manner. So let's do it. Let's be mature. And that's how we can be better people. That's how we can build ourselves and become better. So that's my opinion on Joe Biden and Donald J. Trump. I'm voting for Donald J. Trump because of how my life experiences, the things that I've experienced. But if you come to me and you say, well, you're voting for Joe Biden, okay, great. That's your life experiences. For me, it's not Republican, it's not freaking Democrat. I don't care. I'm so tired of the game of, well, you must pick one or the other. Of course, there's independent, but we all know that the independence is always suppressed, and they pretty much force us to pick between one or the other, which is really stupid. So at the end of the day, guys, if someone comes to you and has questions, be mature and answer them. But if you know that they're solid on one side, just be mature about it. Let them vote for who they want. You're not going to sway them by arguing with them and making them feel worse about themselves or worse about their choice. That's not right. And we as humans do that way too often. So, at the end of the day, my friends, may the best person win. And you know what? Your best and my best are different. My best person, I think, based off of seeing the last 4 years, weighing out all the data and all the options, and making a sound decision, not based off of emotion, but based off of actual factual things that have taken place in the last 8 years. My opinion is Donald J. Trump. I don't really care about the mean tweets or the orange hair or his childlike attitude. Obviously, we know that he's a child. He's like a high schooler, which is okay. That's his personality. But I'm taking actual factual things. I'm not going based off of those things. I'm going based off of how, as a country as a whole, benefited, and from there, that's my opinion. If you disagree with that, that's great. That's the thing about me, is I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you're wrong. I'm going to let you build your choices based off of the information that you guys have. So if you tell me right now, and that's what the world needs. If you completely hate the guy, that's okay. You're welcome as my friend. You're welcome on our channel. You're welcome to your opinion, and you're entitled to it. You can hate him. Whatever you want, that's okay. That's your choice. That's the great thing about life. It's your choice. That's fine. So I hope people have respect and people keep the comments to maturity. Again, if you're voting for him, that's great. That's based off of your life experiences. That's awesome. I mean, we all have different life experiences. And could you imagine if we were all mature? So we all were mature enough to act like this, that, oh, you're voting for him? Okay, well, if you're fully set on that, then I respect your opinion. That's based off of your life choices. And I'm not going to, manipulate you. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to degrade you as a human being because you're picking something that I wouldn't. This world needs more compassion and more understanding. People get so caught up in the negative side of things, it does nobody good. So Joe Biden or Donald Trump, at the end of the day, treat each other with respect. Treat your friends like you would want to be treated. Inside our heart and souls, we all want to be treated equally. We all want to be loved. And then people will go on that and say, well, how can you support somebody who is against what you're saying? Guys, everybody has different life experiences. Stop forcing your life experiences on other people. You can say open-mindedly on a platform like I'm doing now, these are my life experiences. You guys are listening. If you believe them or not, if you follow them or not, that's up to you guys. That's up to everyone. I'm not telling you to vote for Joe Biden. I'm not telling you to vote for Donald Trump. I'm not saying what you have to do, or if you don't vote for Donald Trump, the country's gonna go to H and all this stuff, all this rhetoric. You vote for who you want based off of your life experiences, and that's it. I'm not here to force anybody. There's plenty of people on the Donald Trump side and people on the Joe Biden side that do nothing but hurt the candidate. There are so many Joe Biden supporters that I look at and see their attitude and how their view on things, and I think all you're doing is making people think you're a nut job. And then there's people on the Trump side that I think, bro, all you're doing to the people that support Joe Biden, they're looking at you and they think you are some kind of patriotic nut job that is a lunatic. There's everyone on both sides, so we need maturity about it. And that's my thoughts on it. Take it as you will. Again, I don't talk about politics much, so this will probably be one of the only videos you guys really ever hear from me on this subject matter. So at the end of the day, vote based off of your life experiences. And if you're 50-50, then just take the first 4 years, take the last 4 years, go through all the data, and then make a decision based off of your opinion. Okay? If you are unsure who to vote for this year, seriously, we have the data now. Take the first 4 years on every subject matter that matters to you. Whatever matters in your heart and your soul, what you think is the most important subjects in this country, take the first 4 years and go through all of them. Write them down, make a list, then go through the last 4 years. Go through the last 4 years on the same subject matters, weigh out your options, and if you say, well, the last 4 years, I like the statistics and everything better than the first 4 years, then you know who you're voting for. You're voting for Joe Biden if you like the last 4 years. If you take a look at the first 4 years, then you say, you know what, in these different areas, I like that better than the last 4 years. Then make your decision based off of that, and it's that simple. So at the end of the day, that's how I make my judgments, not based off a pure emotion of, oh, Sleepy Joe or crazy Donald Trump. It's sad the way the state of the world is. And it doesn't matter if something's true or not. We don't gotta degrade people. We don't have to degrade them anymore. We don't have to be that anymore. You don't have to be that anymore. You can be better, I can be better, we can be better. We can be better humans to other humans. We don't have to degrade people. We can be mature about our decisions. So again, please keep the comments mature. If there's any negative comments that are just like, if someone leaves a comment and says, well, Joe has dementia, he's a horrible person, and guys, that doesn't build anybody up, okay? Or if you like Joe and Trump's, he's just a little bully brat kid, he's manipulates people and he's a racist and he's all this. If you start going off like that, bro, that doesn't help anybody, that doesn't build anybody up, that doesn't do any good, okay? Be mature. We need to be mature. As human beings, we must become mature in all that we do to live the best life. We don't have to bring other people down because we disagree with them. So keep it mature, please. So if you guys keep it mature, you know, the comment will stay. Just remember, your opinion is based off of your life trials and errors. Just because you have an opinion on something does not mean that's how someone lived their life. It doesn't mean how they have to live their life. It doesn't mean going forward today. But even by me saying we should be mature, that's based off of my knowledge. If you don't want to be mature, if you want to be immature and say rhetoric and just be nasty, well, there's no place for you here then. Then your comments will be blocked, and that's fine. But in life, you have to be mature and you have to be better. We have to always try and be better. That's based off of my advice, and that's based off of, you know, my life. And you can believe that or not. But again, at the end of the day, you know, that's my opinion. And that's my thoughts on Joe Biden or Donald J. Trump.